Hello, hello, and welcome back to Shatter Our Souls with Novaria here with Borderlands 1. Now, we have the final mission in the Dull Headlands to complete. Now, ordinarily, I would simply say try to do it as best you can, but with my current setup and restrictions, there isn't much I can do. Now, I'm not usually one for using things outside of the realm of expectations, so to speak. So I am going to fudge it just a little bit. Now, there is a glitch you can perform which allows you to leave Mad Mel's arena by entering the driver's seat of your vehicle, swapping to the back, and then jumping out that way. Now, the reason behind needing this glitch is because most of the enemies in this region are vehicles. So it is a lot safer to attempt to run as fast as you possibly can until the gate closes, and then run in the polar opposite direction so that once enemies start coming at you, you've got less to worry about from vehicles actually doing damage to you. Is it safe? No. But it is definitely a safer alternative than what I was going to end up with. Now from here, we can use the base of the machinery that I have set aside here as a safe zone to deal damage to enemies at a distance. I don't necessarily like using it in this way, but with the Mad Mel patrols being what they are, it is far and away the safest way to do this mission, unfortunately. And I'm aiming not to die today. So, let's not die today, shall we? Number one issue with this particular setup comes from the fact that, well, this arena is very conclusive in what it wants you to do. And what it wants and what I want are two dramatically different things. But we'll manage. Oh, there he is. There we go. So we got to stick it out until Mad Mel arrives. Once Mad Mel arrives on the scene, he should be in the clear. Unfortunately, I did not think to check my ammunition before arriving to this battlefield. But the idea is there. I can replicate it as I need be. For now, I think I'm just going to have to take a little bit of a run and see what I can come across ammo-wise. All right, we're going to go over this way and see what else I can find. So at this point, level 23, theoretically, the hardest part of the game is already over, and then some. Um, so as it is, I think I should have no issue completing the game at this point. Because once you reach the Dull Headlands, enemies are much further and farther between. there's less consistent enemies that pop up. The ones that do pop up are usually easy enough to defeat in a 1v1 capacity. So really from here, it's more about follow through. Everything I technically need to learn or need to do getting to this point is already done. But as I kind of alluded to earlier, just because the bulk of it is done does not mean that it is ready to go. That's kind of where I'm sitting at right now. Under normal circumstances, I would love that weapon. This isn't normal circumstances. But we got some more revolver rounds, which is, I guess, a good portion of the battle. We're just going to teleport to the vehicle, jump out the back, and here we are. Yeah, level 18 versus this. Last 4 shots for the main weapon, and Mad Mel has joined the battle. Now, Mad Mel has a larger and bulkier vehicle than any other in this enemy vehicle in the game, which theoretically makes it easier to hit. It also has heavier damage than almost any other vehicle in the game. I'm just happy that I'm not getting hit by this. At least not directly. Here it is. The point at which I'm officially farther than I have ever been in the original Borderlands in a Deathless challenge. I did attempt this, and one of my earlier attempts, I did get this far in, but it came with the cost of I didn't know how best to tackle Mad Mel at the time, and I ended up getting hit by a truck. This attempt was approximately 2 years ago, so having the official statement of Mad Mel is defeated, here we are. This is the furthest I have ever been, and it's not stopping yet. Now, we are entering the new area of New Haven. New Haven is more or less just a new hub, similar to Firestone. The difference between New Haven and Firestone, however, is that Firestone was more about 2 or 3 characters, whereas everybody's back. Everybody who is of importance at this point has a side quest or series of within this new hub area. And this new hub area is effectively the final hub area. So, I'll meet you on the other side. Now that we have officially reached New Haven, there are a couple of things I need to mention for just general statements. As far as it goes at this point in time, traversal is going to be a little bit slower. Um, but also with traversal being slower, there's a lot more side missions in a more, well, I'd say secluded or condensed area than they used to be. So, yeah, TK wants us to check in on, or sorry, Scooter wants us to check in on TK Baja. We have a series of side missions that need to be accomplished right now, and we have 3 different bounty boards to worry about in here, including Mad Mel, no, not Mad Mel, Marcus, including a Marcus, 1 to 2 bounty boards. It all adds up pretty quick. And I like that they're actually getting smart with how they're hiding toolkits now. Albeit the one inside the girder was pretty awesome. But yeah, with this we have access to a new storage deck upgrade and a new set of chests that will increase my capability of increasing my armaments. And junk. Speaking of junk, 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 junk. The elephant gun I've always hated, and the solid gamble does more damage but less accurate. I'm not willing to risk it. So, there we are. With the New Haven area, a lot of side missions and that are going to involve going to new areas, including tackling older sections. This includes fighting Mothrak. Yes, you heard that right. They decided to make a side boss um, based on the kaiju Mothra, which I think is freaking awesome. Again, nothing worthwhile, more ammunition, I'll always like that. But yeah. In the Rusts area, we're also going to come across a few new types of enemy. These are the, how you say, the spider ants. The Spider-Mans, holy moly, are all about getting around them. Their weak point is on their hind, specifically the abdomen. This makes them very difficult to catch off guard and requires a lot of strafing. It's not really the end of the world because prior enemies have required more head-on setups, but it is something of note. Okay, we have given power back to the people, and we get to find Tanis. Scooter needs a little something done. Marcus needs a little something done. All sales are final. Got all sorts of good side missions in here, so we'll have a huge boost in levels, at least in the very beginning of this section. Now, I don't know what to do first, so let's... Okay. Moth to a Flame is normal, as is TK okay. So, I will meet you all back at Firestone. Alrighty. So, part of why I opted to do that, and why I opt to remove a lot of the traversal problems in this area, is simply because traversal is part and parcel of what is expected in these games. But a lot of games, especially games like Borderlands, with fairly large, fairly open worlds, tend to have a major issue with them. And that major issue boils down to it's occasionally too large for its own good. I don't want to bore people with just driving across a endless empty landscape. That's not fun for me. That's not really enjoyable for the viewers. But I also don't like fast travel. I hate fast travel with a fiery passion because fast travel in and of itself is there for convenience. And while convenience is great at times, it also is a bit of an immersion breaker for me. If you're going to play a game with a large, infinitely expansive world, and you choose not to travel across it, you're effectively just opting for less game. Now, some games do fast travel reasonably well. Others do fast travel rather poorly. Games that I think of doing it fairly decently are stuff like The Witcher. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt has it that you have to go to a specific signpost, and it is your only means of getting between two major sections miles apart from one another. Fine. I can accept that fast travel is necessary to do that. It does not make it easy, though, or doesn't make it, in my opinion, the best solution either. But be that as it may, this is what it is. Now I gotta say, TK has officially been found dead, which is rather disappointing. TK was a pretty decent character. I definitely enjoyed him and his banter. But in the end, sometimes characters have to go to push the story forward. While I don't think TK was the right choice, I believe that his whole circumstance of not being able to navigate on his own anymore makes him kind of one of those characters that made sense to move on. Do I like it? No. But I am also making strawberry jelly over here, so what does that matter? Next mission that I would like to take down is Like a Moth to a Flame. Now, this side quest is easy and overly complicated. See, there is a side boss, a mini boss, if you will, named Mothrak. And Mothrak is not the best, so to speak. It is a high flying rack type enemy that will show up. And Mothrak's entire shtick is that it is a giant monster that breathes fire that explodes on contact with anything, the ground, you name it. Thus, the point of trying to defeat it in this manner is simply get to it, get it down as quick as possible. Come on, one more shot. Level up. Okay, with that, we have a second challenging kill. Absolutely no ammunition left. Oh, 6 pistol rounds. Perfect. Just what I always wanted. So, Mothrak is downed. And as you can see, Mothrak was absolutely massive. Come to think of it, I never actually realized that these guys don't have eyes. It's kind of weird. The more you know. So, with 6 bullets in hand and time to kill, I'm going to take down a couple of side enemies over here, see if I can regain some ammunition, because it's going to be very, very desired in the near future. But if I don't find what I'm looking for, I will, as soon as I get a vehicle, it'll be off to New Haven again. Yeah, doesn't surprise me. Nothing serious over here. Oh, yay, more pistol ammo. At least I've got something. I would personally prefer to get some ammo for a different type of weapon too, but pistol works great with me. Let's see what we got in here. Yeah, it's not as strong as my pistol, it's not worthwhile. All right, so I got... Why am I holding up? No, no. I do not want shotguns. All right, we are officially 25 minutes in, which is kind of surprising. That went by way faster than I expected. Oh my goodness. Yes. So we have ourselves a new shock shield. It's a Nova shield similar to the Flame Nova I had at one point. As stated when I had it, once the shield is depleted, it deals out a elemental burst of energy that will harm enemies in the surrounding area. Because it is a shock burst, it will deal more damage to shields than the prior weapon I had, or the prior one, but dealing damage to shields is still a good thing. Anyways, I will meet you back at New Haven, where we're going to pass these back in. Alrighty, and welcome back to New Haven. It is my pleasure to pass back both of Scooter's missions. And then we're going to have a bit of a side quest, but I'm not sure which one. I think potentially we're going to go king tossing. And Mothrak was probably up here. I didn't just run into a wall, not at all. That would be insane. Silly of me. I also didn't do it again. Wow. That was a lot of experience. So, we are going to the Tetanus Warren. So, there are 2 quests in here. The first is to gather corrosion crystals, much like in the Lost, whatchamacallit, the Lost Caverns. I had to collect shock crystals in order to get a special item. The corrosion crystals do the exact same thing, except corrosion-based instead of shock-based. Not a huge difference, but it is worth going in there to grab it, especially given that we also have a second quest in here to defeat King Wee Wee. King Wee Wee is kind of an oddball character because he is not exactly the largest or strongest character out there, but he is a important enemy to be able to defeat. He is also a very short-ranged fighter, which is going to be a huge boost for taking him on because I don't actually need to get close to him. He also has himself a lot of weapon chests nearby, so that will also increase my potential damage dealing as a additional ability. So, I think that makes sense. Anyways, I think I'm going to cut this video short once I hit the tetanus warrants. Because I don't necessarily see the point in dragging this video out a whole lot. And with the new area and new quest involved, I think it's going to be the best of both worlds to kind of take my time with it. Also, a lot of visual stuff in here, so I do apologize if I am blocking out anyone's view with the shock. Anything. It's not my intent, it's just kind of what I'm dealing with. Anyways, if you are liking what you see, drop a like, leave subscribe, make sure to hit the noti bell, and drop on by for the next one. Until then, have a good day.